FAR570.
It's related to financial reporting, but for a specific period, like quarterly.
Yes, I heard the term interim financial reporting before. I think MAC2204 covers that.
So, interim mean not for year, like half year or quarterly reports.
So, companies do not just wait until year end to share information with investor.
If that's the case, are those reports detailed or are they more simplified?
And is this mandatory for all companies or only certain ones?
But we still have a lot of questions.
Exactly, like how they are applied and what the actually requirements are.
And most importantly, how all of this helps us as investors.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Nazwan bin Nazwi. Today, I will explain about MFRS 134 Interim Financial Reporting. MFRS 134 refers to financial reports prepared for a period shorter than a full financial year. This report can be either a complete set or condensed set of financial statements, and they are usually issued on a quarterly, semi-annual, or even bi-monthly basis. This standard prescribes two main things. First, it sets out the minimum content, including the necessary disclosure that must be included in interim report. Second, it identifies the recognition and measurement principle that companies must follow when preparing this report. Now let's look at how the Drb-Hicom does with MFRS 134. The company presents condensed financial information and refer to its previous annual financial statement, such as those from 2023. It also ensures that its accounting policy will remain consistent with the previous financial year. In addition, the Drb-Hicom lists all new amendments applied in 2024. Finally, the company prepares report for a period shorter than a full year, typically on a quarterly basis. For example, the period ended 30 September 2024. In conclusion, MFRS 134 helps ensure that interim financial reporting will remain consistent, transparent, and useful for decision making. Next, I will explain two significant events that affected the Drb-Hicom financial performance in 2024. The first event is a significant decline in profit. Profit before tax dropped from 446.9 million ringgit in 2023 to 247.4 million ringgit in 2024. This shows a clear deterioration in the company financial performance. In fact, during the third quarter of 2024, the company recorded a loss before tax of 35.17 million ringgit. As a result, net profit also decreased sharply from 394.3 million ringgit in 2023 to 105.8 million ringgit in 2024. The second event is an increase in revenue, but a mismatch with profitability. Although revenue increased from 15.85 billion ringgit in 2023 to 16.19 billion ringgit in 2024, the company profitability declined. This suggests that the company may be facing higher operating costs or lower profit margins, which reduce overall financial efficiency. Additionally, revenue for the third quarter of 2024 increased by 5.2% to RM 3.97 billion. In conclusion, even though the Drb-Hicom generated higher revenue, the decline in profit indicates challenge in controlling costs and maintaining profitability. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Ashana Janita Rahman. Now, let me explain the concept between current and comparative data. First, let's define current data. Current data refers to the most recent or latest financial figures presented in a company's financial report. As for comparative data, it refers to the previous period's figures, which are usually used as a basis for comparison. Take a look at the slide presented. As you can see, the information extracted from the interim financial report for the financial year ended 31st December 2024 of the Drb-Hicom Berhad. Take note that the current interim period covers the 3-month and the 12-month period ended 31st December 2024. As for the comparative period, they refers to the same duration ended on 31st December 2023. This aligns with MFRS 134 requirements that an interim financial report should cover either a quarter or a half-year period along with a comparative period for the same interval. Therefore, by its nature, current data tells us how the company is doing right now, while comparative data shows us how the company was doing before, allowing us to see if there's growth, decline, or stability. This comparison helps stakeholders such as investors, management, or analysts to make informed decisions based on trends and changes over time.
Alright, that is MFRS 134. Then what about MFRS 8?
Yeah, I've been wondering too. It sounds like an accounting standard, but what does it actually focus on?
If I'm not mistaken, MFRS 8 is related to operating segments, like how a company breaks down its business into activities.
So you mean, if a company has different divisions, let's report them separately?
Oh, so investor can see which part of the company is doing well, which or not.
But how do they decide the segments? It's based on products, geography, or management structure.
That's a good question. I think there are specific criteria and they can't just define segments randomly. Now, let us look into these slides.
Hi, my name is Irwani Shahira binti Muhammad Faizal. Next, what is MFRS 8? MFRS 8 operating segment is a financial reporting standard that requires companies to disclose information about different parts of their business segments to help users understand how the entity earns revenue and incurs expenses. An operating segment is a component of an entity that engages in business activity from which it may earn revenue and incur expenses, including transaction with other segments, and has its operating result regularly reviewed by the Chief Operating Decision Maker (CODM) for decision on resources allocation, and performance assessment, and has discrete financial information available. In the case of Drb-Hicom Berhad, the company is a diversified group involved in multiple business activities, which is mobility, automotive, postal service, banking, service, and properties. What is a Chief Operating Decision Maker (CODM)? The Chief Operating Decision Maker (CODM) is a function, not necessarily a specific individual, responsible for allocating resources to operating segments and assessing the performance of those segments. The CODM can be an individual or group of senior management as long as they are involved in making strategic decisions based on segment information in accordance with MFRS 8 operating segment. Who is a Chief Operating Decision Maker (CODM)? First, Tan Sri Wan Zulkifli Wan Arifin, Chairman. Second, Tan Sri Syed Faizal Alba Syed AR Alba, Group Managing Director. Third, Dato Ibrahim Taib, Senior Independent Non-Executive Director. Next, Dato Idris Abdullah or Das Multi, Independent Non-Executive Director. Second last, Uji Sharina Abdullah, Independent Non-Executive Director. And the last one is Tam So Hua, Independent Non-Executive Director.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Noain Sazwani binti Kari. There are two types of segment reporting based on MFRS 8 operating segment, which is operating segment and geography segment. First, operating segment is based on product or service provided by company. It reflects how management, especially the Chief Operating Decision Maker (CODM), evaluates performance and allocates resources internally. For Drb-Hicom Berhad, the company reports several operating segments such as automotive, aerospace, and defense, postal, banking, service, and properties. This shows that the company performance is analysis based on different business activity. Next is geography segment. A geography segment is based on the location of the operating or markets. For example, Malaysia, Asia, or Europe. It helps users understand where the company generates revenue or hold its assets. For Drb-Hicom Berhad, the company mainly operates in Malaysia with other companies such as Asian and Europe. This allows users to evaluate how different regions contribute to the company overall performance. In conclusion, segmental reporting helps users better understand both the nature of the company's business activity and its geographic operation. One of the benefits of segment reporting is better evaluation of the business performance. Based on the Drb-Hicom Berhad reports, the company showed the different business segments such as automotive, service, banking, and others. This means each business segment can be evaluated separately instead of looking at the company as a whole. As a result, user can see which segment is performing well, which is not performing well. Therefore, it helps users to understand the company performance more clearly and make better decisions. Second, benefits of segment reporting is help us understand the company risk and business situation better. Based on the Drb-Hicom Berhad report, it shows revenue from Malaysia and also from outside Malaysia. This means the company is operating in different places with different conditions. Because of this, the company may face different risks like change in the economy, currency value, and customer demand in its country. So, this information helps users see how different locations can affect the company performance. Thank you.